can get a good idea of how the internals of the transmission operate. And then just all up and down these rows, these are all various electrical trainers, simulators, depending on what system you want to know about. That's just a nice way to see that.
Oh, I see. You got electronic ignition, engine cooling.
Yeah, quite a variety. Yeah, feel free to look at them all. We got an injector pump, direct injection, EVAP system, even on the engine performance side of things. So if we ever need to explain something a little bit further,
How much time do
what's that?
How much time do students spend a day or here? Do they come like several times a day, or they spend 2-3 hours when they come to class?
In this particular room, this is kind of maybe an as-needed thing. So they would probably cover a lot of this on advanced electrical. So if they're covering maybe something on a power seat system, they want to come in here and without having to crawl under a dash or under a seat or inside of a car, you can see all the components. Same with power door locks. Or maybe we're working on a vehicle, for example, and we're trying to diagnose something. You know, things are buried, things are hard to get to. We can come in here and explain some things a little bit closer just based on these boards and then apply it to the real world, of course. Okay. It's not always this easy to get to everything. But as far as they come here as new. There's not, and this is going to probably be like an advanced on the advanced electrical side, but also on the engine performance side as well, because we have the ignition system, cooling fan system, and so I see we have an inflatable restraint system as well, so an airbag system. This is covered under our steering and suspension class. So whenever we start going over the airbag system, we can come over here and explain a few things. For example, this component right here we just talked about last week, cable reel or clock spring. We'll have to get back in here and talk a little bit more about that. Really kind of covers all the different areas. And that's pretty much it as far as the tour goes. Feel free to look around and see all these systems.
Okay.
How many students you get per semester? How do you do it?
Typically we have, I think it's somewhere between 75 and 100 total.
Wow.
That's
At various stages.
correct. The classes themselves are probably 20 or less. I don't think we have more than 20. However many fit in the other room, I believe it is around 20.
How long does it take them to get through it? A couple of years, or how long does it take to get through the program?
The program, we offer some short-term certificates, which, for example, engine certificate might be just 2 semesters. Mm-hmm. But it goes all the way up to a 2-year associate's program.
Oh.
So yeah, so of course we're getting all math, English, science, communication, computer skills, so they'll be well-rounded in all the areas when it comes to wherever they're going to work.
And then you guys have opportunities for them to go and interview and get discussion with the various manufacturers or what the case may be.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of manufacturers that work with us. A lot of our students are currently working while they go to school, whether it be an apprentice program or a lot of them are working, and then so they might, for example, have a morning class, go work in the afternoon, then come back for the night class. Some do that. That's a full day for them. They can get it done pretty quick. We have some students here that are currently doing that. One right over there. But yeah, we're in contact with a lot of the local industry, a lot of local shops, dealerships. They're very supportive as well because they're making sure that they're working with the student schedule. Mm-hmm. So we can get all our students.
Now, do any of your students go elsewhere, other parts of the state, overseas, or whatever the case may be? Do you have connections with other programs?
Yeah, outside of the local. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any at the moment, but I know some do actually, they'll move away, they're moving out of state, out of the country, they can take this wherever they want. Military. As far as our connections here, typically we're dealing with local industry. Although, if there's something that pops up, if someone wants to come and talk to us, we're willing to talk to them.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of defense contractors in the area, Washington, Martin, John, and more, so that's probably helpful.
Lockheed hires a lot of our Calhoun students in general. We went to the Cortland facility where they do the harness manufacturing. Mm-hmm. And even I always ask, so this is not really automotive, but do they want automotive students? They said absolutely. Anybody that wants the electrical background. Mm-hmm. So I've mentioned that to students before as well. They may, if that's a path they wanted to go, if they really like the electronic side of things, a lot of this prepares them for that too. Because the good thing about the automobile, we cover a lot of the different areas. So HVAC, electrical, mechanical. Sometimes we even have to get into welding. So we get to touch all those areas. Machining, just depending on what we're doing.
Question?
Question? This gentleman has some questions for you.
What's the cost?
The cost, I have to look at the website, but typically I think it's somewhere, and I hate for this to be wrong, but I think it's maybe around $250 per credit hour. So maybe for a 3 credit hour class, somewhere around $600, give or take. But the exact number will be on the Calhoun website. I hate to.
Something like that. I won't call it.
Okay.
I think it's around $600 per class. So there might be like a whole number for like the whole program when it's all said and done. But that's an important number for me to have right if I'm going to answer that. And it'll be publicly mentioned, but it's somewhere. And I should know the answer off the top of my head, but it's
Things change. I mean, the tuition changes slightly, and it's not always up to the people actually running the program what the tuition is set at for a college. That's normal. So, yeah, for absolute current info, it's
financial aid, scholarships. A lot of our students maybe they don't have to pay anything at all. They have another option there. So.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what my undergrad cost because I was on scholarship.
Can you audit the class?
Oh, as far as someone coming in and audit? Yeah, I think that is an option. I haven't had that happen, but yeah, if someone ever just wants to come and observe, I don't have a problem with that. We can definitely schedule that. Is that something you're interested in?
No, I just asking.
Okay. It's encouraged, yeah.
Maybe you know somebody.
And maybe some of the reason for that is, well, that class would be a good time to do something like that. Because the other result work, but yeah, I do believe that is an option. I can confirm that, though. That's another thing I'm not 100% sure about. But,
Well, if you let, you've got my email, I'm pretty sure, Christina.
yeah,
Car Club. We can post this on our website.
okay.
And link it to wherever it is on y'all's page that says, here, if you want more info about Calhoun's automotive technology program, we would love to send a link that way so people can find current info.
Okay. Yeah, I can send that. So
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because we've got a page for you guys, and we would say, if you want to learn more about their program, go here.
Okay.
So that would help answer these questions for people who are curious as to what we're trying to help support.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we'd love to do that.
That'd be good. So email you directly, just respond to the whole group chat. Okay.
Email.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
And I've got your cell phone from Lewis, so I can call you.
Yeah, I think it's posted up there
Yeah.
on the projector. Hopefully, if anybody needs my contact info, feel free to email or call. Yeah, I always like giving the tours. So if I show up here early, there's a whole group of, it might be somebody from our counselors have a group that wants to. I get excited about that. I want to show everybody all the stuff that we have in here.
But these
Usually
things are
I end
cool.
in- This is probably the room we end in.
Yeah.
This is kind of like would everybody agree this might be the most interesting, or anybody have another one that was their favorite? Maybe I should.
No, but this is neat to have a hands-on option that says, here is just this system, not complicated by all the other systems.
You don't have to crawl under a dash, but you can understand it. You can look at
See
it.
how it connects, and then you see it applied to an actual vehicle. That helps.
Now, are any of these set up for particular types of vehicles, or they're kind of generic where,
This technology probably came out of a specific one. A lot of times with the ATEC, they will, even for example, our engine trainers out there, they'll give us the VIN that the vehicle came from.
okay.
This might be more generic.
That's all like that. They got one different thing.
Okay.
And it might just
There's a
depend.
lot of similarities between vehicles, I would assume.
So in the introduction, help you just from 2010 Chevy 2.4 value also gives you some as well.
Oh, okay.
So it gives you the VIN on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And these just give you different procedures and stuff. Different ones for testing, schematics, and everything.
Yeah, no, it's just a great program. I wish they had this when I was growing up.
Okay, Steve, I'm headed out then, so I'll see you next week.
Yeah, Monday, right? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
info.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Steve, for the tour.
Yeah, you're very
We
welcome.
definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. Let me know if there's any other questions or if I can help out.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.